Fire catches on to something that that's something that might be combustible, something that it can be conducted in. Bless the Lord. And what God does, He separates us in a way in which He creates us as insulators to what is around us. Now, insulators are materials which they don't carry, they don't provide the circumstances for something to travel. And what God does, He creates us, He sets us as an insulator to our environment. No matter what, no matter the fire, the hatred that is going on around you, it just cannot have any harm on you. It has this impact when it sees you, it steps aside. Bless the Lord. That's the type of God that we serve. Bless the Lord. That is why He Himself told us not to fear. Because He ordained it in such a way that if we should take on any situation, any circumstance, then the devil doesn't have a say. He did not say the devil won't try. He did not say that you will not pass through the fire. Bless the Lord. He did not say you will not encounter circumstances. He told you not to fear. There's a criteria to it. Bless the Lord. No, even though you're going through it, you should not fear. Even though you're going through it, you will not be affected. Bless the Lord. So you will go through it. It's a must. Because as human beings, as persons who are serving God, it is a must, a definite. It's not even a possibility. Because with a possibility, it's maybe or maybe not. It is direct by God, and it's ordained that we have to go through trials and tribulation. Because how can you build yourself without any testings? For example, bodybuilding. How can you build muscles, add weight, when you don't train the muscles? The muscles react by building when they're strained to a point in which they know that if they don't develop themselves, they won't survive. Bless the Lord, they won't grow stronger. That is the same situation what God is applying here. It is through the situations that we become stronger. By the constant fires that we pass through, despite whatsoever, we realize that we have a joy. The joy that we have, we realize that we can continuously overcome. It's like, even though the circumstances are great, the fire is blazing so big, it's multiple feet high, and it's all around, we still find this joy. It's because we are developing a strength. We even find the courage and the strength to even minister to those who are trying to bring us down. Bless the Lord. Many of the times the persons who are causing these fires, they just want someone to minister to them, and they can look at you and find the strength and the courage to just push through the situations that they're going through, push through the barriers. Because when we set an example for others to follow, they can now have a desire not to be like us per se, but to be like God. Bless the Lord. That is why it's crucial for us as Christians when we go out in our various environments, our work, schools, wherever we are, in that we set a standard for persons to follow. Bless the Lord. For example, where I am at school, they know that they don't come to me with certain foolishness, like they don't come to me with indecent language and loose stuff. They know that when they approach me, I don't deal with any of the monkey business. Bless the Lord. They know that I am a Christian by how I carry myself. And there are some other persons in the school environment that are Christians, but you will not know because of the way they carry themselves. Bless the Lord. But I'm ensuring that at the end of the day, when God comes, He cannot say, listen to me, Jay, you did not carry yourself in a way that others might be ministered. And as such and such person, this person, that person, their lives are turned upside down. They are going to hell, all because you fail to keep up a standard. And many times, why we fail to keep up this standard is because we fear what others might think. You know, when they come to realize, when they look at it at the end of the day, they're saying, what they're saying is just merely words. Yes, the words might hurt, but how long can you hurt for? Bless the Lord. Yes, the words might be difficult to hear and to carry, but how long can they be there for? Bless the Lord. When you realize it is not them that God is going to approach at the end of the day, it's you. He's not going to approach them, He's going to approach you. And what are you going to say to him? The people you wanted to fit in? God doesn't care. When it comes on to you, God doesn't care about them. It's you. Bless the Lord. That is one of the reasons why He's saying to you, fear not. He told you not to fear. Because He has you. He has your back. He has the support that is set out for you. And many times, after we persevere, and we grow and we feel that we have the strength now, something else happens. We go through the fire, and instead of persevering, we cause ourselves to approach this state in which we become combustible. We take on the conductor form, and we start to allow the fire to pass through. Now, if God has ordained us, yes, as flesh we may fall. And in this today, when the preacher was preaching, he told us that, listen to me, you may fall. And as Christians, practically you are going to fall, because God said we all fall short of His glory and we don't even know about it. Bless the Lord. So He says to us that we are going to fall. We might fall, and it is not the falling that is really the problem per se. No. It's whether we get back up again. Bless the Lord. And even though we might fall, He says that it doesn't make any sense that you weep and cry over all of this. Look at David, as he said that when the child was there, David got up and he worshipped and he ate and he bathed and he changed his garment. And the persons were puzzled. No, I don't understand these people. Because when I look at it, when the bad situation was going on, David was fast, down on his knees, fasting, praying, didn't change any garments. And when God resolved the situation, then they don't understand why David was this happy. And I looked at what he said. He said, when the child was dead, did I not mourn for him? When the child was sick, did I not mourn for him? Now that he's dead, what can I do? If God has set it up that way, what can I do? Bless the Lord. So let me tell you something. When we fall, and yes, we might go through the weeping and the mourning for the circumstance that might beset us. But when all of this is resolved, because weeping only endured for a night, bless the Lord, the punishment only endured for a while. Because when God realizes that you are willing to get back up, He will ensure that that punishment has a conclusion. And it's at that time that when we rise up again, we should not hold on to the past by weeping and crying and mourning. We should move on to a sense in which we change our garments. We change the way we used to eat. Bless the Lord, we start to eat and feast on the glory that God has ordained for us. Bless the Lord. Let us remember that God is a God who is omniscient. He knows all, He understands all, He sees all. Bless the Lord. If He created us, He knows how we operate, He knows how to solve any situation that we might be going through. Bless the Lord. He's the engineer of our lives. An engineer they know how to address every single problem that might be set whatsoever they created. So let us not worry. The situation and the circumstance might be great, because it's the world that we live in. The devil has a role in this world. Bless the Lord. He has a duty to fulfill, and it is us not to get involved with that duty. Bless the Lord, because God has a prize that is awaiting us. We might not be able to see it, we might not understand what the prize is now fully, but let me tell you something. It's the perseverance and the endurance and the not having fear that will push us through. Bless the Lord. I learned at youth camp last year. I believe Sister Genevieve went last year before last. One of the years, is it the year before last or last year? An overseas minister was preaching, and he said to us that fear is the opposite of faith. Bless the Lord. He said that fear is having faith in the opposition. Bless the Lord, because look at the reason behind it. When you fear something, what do? You believe that that thing is able to overcome you. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You haven't seen it overcoming you. You haven't seen it moving beyond a position where it has covered you and taken all away from you, but yet still you believe that it is capable and it is about to do that. Bless the Lord. So fear is actually the opposite of the faith that we are supposed to have. So we're realizing that we are fear. We just need to step back a bit and just look at the situation from all angles and say, listen to me. Okay, I believe that this is about to overcome me. I believe that this is about to overcome me. Let me tell you something. Look at those things and switch it around. If this is about to overcome me, let me switch it around. I am about to overcome that. The situation that is set there for me, I'm about to change it around in a sense that I will move and push ahead no matter what. Bless the Lord. I will pray until something happens, until that situation has no effect on me. Bless the Lord. So let us just commit ourselves to just push down our roots, to just fasten ourselves unto God. Bless the Lord. To just buckle up ourselves, pull up our socks, and just put on the armor of God, because no matter whatsoever the devil fights, push against us, we have no fear. Bless the Lord, because fear is the fall of man. It's because of fear why we are in this situation. Bless the Lord, it's because of fear why we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Eve was afraid of not pleasing her desire at that time while she ate the fruit. And Adam was afraid of not pleasing his desire for taking on the fruit himself. Bless the Lord, it all comes back down to fear, not having faith in what we're in the right thing. Bless the Lord. So let us look forward and realize that what we fear is just a reverse of what we are not to fear. What we fear is just a reverse of what we are not. It's just a reverse of what we are to overcome. Bless the Lord. Look at fear as a stepping stone. Stepping stone. It's there. It's just something that you need to just say, hey, let's just push beyond this. This is just another part of the obstacle of life. Yes, it might be hard. Yes, I might have bruises. I might be broken. I might have some brokenness at the end of the day. But listen to me. It's the perseverance. It's the end result that counts. It's the positive end result that counts. Let us realize that God is here for us, even though it might not be as evident as we want him to be, because the teacher is very silent during the test. The teacher cannot tell you any answers because he himself will get in trouble, and God cannot go against his word. He is the living embodiment of righteousness. So if he is to intervene when he is not to, then he will be going against himself. And God cannot do that, because he is all things good and all things righteous. Brethren, keep the faith. Don't let fear overcome your faith, because it is through God that everything is possible. God bless you in Jesus' name.